Alright, we'll be starting in just a minute. Hello, Sharkfin Guy. Hello, Worthy Thane of Ross. That's a long name. Just call you Thane because it's easier. All right. Oh, still have the art up from yesterday. There we go. Hello there, everyone. Welcome. Oh, I forgot. Let me turn that on. One must wonder what dastardly deed Xeno does during prep phase. Honestly, while I'm waiting for stream to start, usually like I'm finishing eating some food or like I'm cleaning off my desk because I don't like to stream with like a cluttered desk. Just I suppose the vibe doesn't sit right with me. Sometimes I'm just setting up programs. I don't know. It's just usually when I stream as soon as I'm really available to. And then I know that I won't get interrupted, so that's why I schedule my streams to be sometime after 2 o'clock, but I never say exactly when. It's just, hey, I'm streaming around 2 o'clock-ish. That could be anywhere between 35 to 40 minutes after, though. Just know it's in that range. Because with how my life is, I don't think I could dedicate to just we start exactly at 2 every time, as much as I'd like to do that. Crafting pilk, man, creating good pilk is a gift of the gods, really. You have to know the finest pilk craftsman if you want to have it for real. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know. I mean, it only takes one if you have like a drill tongue, like a mechanical power drill as a tongue. Hello, souls. Welcome. Alright, today we're going to be playing more of the Great Ace Attorney. I'm very excited to do so. Whoa, I got huge. I'm very excited to do so, because we were having a lot of fun with the last one, especially. Yep, new model still coming in soon, as well as the song that I know a lot of people were worried about, that I was like, Xeno, you said you were gonna do that song for the redemption thing, and you never did it. It's like, that's coming along with new model, don't worry. Don't worry, it's all coming at once. Like Krunk says, it's all coming together. I know Krunk says that because of memes. That's the only reason I know that. However, I just want to make a very clear distinction that this, that although the new models have a very different design, it is not like replacing the old design of Andromeda. This isn't like the brand new, you know, the one I'm using now. All the art I have, all the other stuff is like quote-unquote decanonized. It's just a alternate look, I guess that you could say. The thing you kind of see now is very much still the main design, but yeah, we'll see once we get there. Anyways, how about we just start, because we already have 11 people here. Hello. I also wanted to say, like, excuse my not streaming yesterday when I was going to. Family stuff came up, and I've also been in a lot of physical pain. I'm not gonna go into that, but you don't need to worry about it. All I can say is that it's definitely been a week. A start to a week, I should say. A lot of physical and mental distress going on. Where is... Hope you feel better soon. Thank you. Hope everything is better, Mr. Streamer. Alright, well, regardless of all that, we're going to continue into the Great Ace Attorney into Case 2, which I'm really wondering how this is going to go, because Case 1 really ended with Ryuhodo. Was it Naruhodo or Ryuhodo? I forget. I think his name was Ryuhodo. I don't know, I'm blanking. But it basically continued with our main character having the entire cast look at him and go, "You'd be a pretty good lawyer, huh?" Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, and everyone just, you know, trying to butter him up so he gets into law school. So that seems to be what happened, and we'll see how exactly this goes on next. Oh, that changes the entire game. Oh, okay. Oh, wow, you can just skip forward if you want. Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Why did... Oh my god, I combined his name into one word. I was calling him Ryuhodo, and I'm like, why does that sound so awful? That just doesn't sound right, no matter how I say it. Alright, episode 2, here we come. The adventure of the unbreakable speckled band.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
Interesting, opening that up with a little Sherlock Holmes story. Kinda like that. Honestly, I feel like Ace Attorney does this really weird thing where it, like, animated cutscenes.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a...
Wait.
In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor.
No way.
The ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So,
What the hell is this man?
And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality.
Is this guy voice acted by Professor Layton?
This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident by the victim himself, I would venture.
I hear Professor Layton in his voice.
What
I could
have
be
we
wrong.
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait.
Shh. That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd.
No, he's not. This guy's just literally some dude.
Cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Holmes.
Really?
You must have heard of me.
Sherlock Holmes? Okay, video game. Usually Ace Attorney's a little more subtle than that, but nah, they just like switch the letters around. Ugh, my head is throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Judging by the chat, I can tell people like this character. Whoops, why is my thing still on? That's weird. Okay. What? Oh, what the? Why am I in handcuffs? Why am I in first person? I guess because I'm truly playing as him now? So you wake up now. Oh, hey man. We had to drag you out of the wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. Wait, I do not believe how you could not wake up. It's very oddly worded. You are a true cold-blooded man. Oh, these are Russians, aren't they? You... You found me then. Da, we found you. Time for my... Seems he's German? Prepare for my bad, like, Russian accent as I, play this character. Now you will pay, criminal. How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, sorry? Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is, No, I'll tell you everything. There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that... Wait, who? Oh, hey there again, Cesato! What are you doing here? Nice boat. I keep accidentally clicking, because I'm an idiot. Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Oh, good. Great. Great. Are you kidding me? Case 2 starts off with people immediately, once again accusing Ryunosuke of murder. Again. Miss Susato? Wait, what did you just say? Take his life. Where is he? Where's Kazuma? No. Oh, you pretend you don't know? You're a wolf in a sheep's pelt. You are the killer! Oh no, Kazuma's fucking dead. Oh no. Do not try to make excuses. What? Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Oh shit, that's his sword! Oh god. Did that last case really put him in such a bad spot that one of the governments had to instantly off him or someone else? Here, in this very cabin, That was bolted shut from the inside. His body? Please, do not try to tell us you are doing these terrible things in your sleep. Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. And these handcuffs. Surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please. Holy shit, this... Oh, you poor guy. Oh, I feel so bad. Kazuma. It was just 2 short weeks ago. It's only been 2 weeks since the trial? Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble? Ha ha ha! What are they going to do? Stab me? Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed her traveling case onto the floor. I thought I was going to die. Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. Wait. Oh my god, Kazuma's trying to freaking smuggle me. He's trying to smuggle us across to Great Britain so he can come along when we're not invited. You must be even less of a man than you look. Hey, honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point. Surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No. But if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose... Mia 2 Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, that's kind of what she looks like. Anyway, it's about time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. Cabin. I know it's cramped, but you'd better get in there. I think. It won't be for long. Anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze. Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. I'll tell you what, why don't you write keep out or something on this piece of paper? What? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England, together! We leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer. No, I'm not a murderer! I'm just in a room with a dead body! And I'm the only one who could have done it. But that doesn't mean I'm guilty. Duh, you said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes. No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but murdering my best friend? No one else could have done it. Admit the truth. Susato-san. Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. There's something I would like to ask of you, too. Those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. Yeah, everyone hates him here. Oh man. The only reason we got through the last time was because we had freaking Kazuma, who was, you know, standing right next to us, side by side, helping us through everything. Now he's the victim, and literally everyone hates us. It's so much worse. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. Kazuma's death. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream. And these handcuffs, they think I did it? Think I'm Kazuma's killer? When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? There's no access to the cabin via a porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? What about that huge-ass air vent up there? I mean, there's a big ol' air vent up top. I'm just saying. That's a possibility. Maybe they had to use a stepladder to get up there. Or to put it another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation? This is impossible. I thought for a second the paper was holding the door closed, so I thought Ryu was weaker than a piece of paper. He might be. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstance? Please, Usato-san, you have to tell me. The cause of death is still undetermined. What do you mean, still undetermined? They don't know how he died? The ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then. That's true, yes. Okay, what about the incident itself? Can anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please. Whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all. Well, yes, I was, but... He would always wake before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. What do you mean he's his training? He's a lawyer. Does that mean he just wakes up every morning and he's just swinging his sword on, like, his roof or something? And he's like, oh, I'll be the best lawyer ever. It's like, oh my god, Kazuma, it's 6 a.m. What are you doing? He's just sitting out there doing sword katas in the middle of the street, yelling at the top of his lungs. I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far on this voyage. But this morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at his cabin door? I wonder. I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside... Well, he has a dying message that we'll have to take a look at. There was Kazuma-san collapsed on the floor. And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but it's just very hard to believe. It's all very hard to believe for me too, trust me. Yeah, Ryunosuke just has to take this all in at the same time. Which I really feel bad for him for, because like, You know, he doesn't have to... He basically has to accept someone's death and try to fend himself off from literally everyone on this entire ship all at the same time. That's too much. I couldn't do it. Now I've told you everything that I know. So it's my turn to ask you a question. If you ask me, why did you kill Kazuma, that is going to be the most useless question you could possibly ask. Yes, alright. My head feels so heavy, it's still throbbing like anything. Stowaway. Why are you even on board this ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes. I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now. Oh, it's been 2 weeks since we left Japan, not just since the case. Okay. And I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. You've been in this cabin for 2 weeks? Oh god, that means you haven't showered. Naruhodo. Or what the hell, man? I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing? No, that would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. She thought I was just stalking Kazuma. Like I hid in his freaking suitcase and he didn't notice. He's like, this case is unusually heavy. I haven't been doing my morning bench presses to lift things properly. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you? But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you? Because I love you, baby. It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself. Well, yes, you did say that. But I didn't think you were serious. You have a talent for it. I can assure you of that. But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development. The center of the world in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then what? Nothing. Forget it. Acting very sus right now, Kazuma. Like he knew he was gonna die. Kazuma is... He was always saying the same thing. That he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yes, maybe. Something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes, then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Susato-san? Sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on the ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association. That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. Yeah, she knows him very well. If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin? Well, the thing is... I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I... fell asleep? Well, yes. So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed? Well, yes. I feel like Kazuma maybe put something in our food that made us fall asleep, like on purpose, but it's hard to say. Could just be a heavy sleeper. I know it sounds unbelievable. Really, I do, but it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. For some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Is something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it. Susato-san, you have to believe me, I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there's no one else who could have possibly done this. Kazuma, I just don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? Why must we not hear this theme anymore? I can't take this. Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry, but Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. I'm supposed to just sit around, my hands tied, while whoever did this walks free? No, I cannot allow this to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life. And how and why they did it. So, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Hiya! What the fuck? Did she just go at me? Oh god, she went at me. What the? That was a Susato takedown. What the f- Did she just judo throw me? Oh, the world's upside down. Susato, what? What martial art form is that? I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry, prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to... Have you forgotten already what you achieved just a few weeks ago? Yes, I just tried to get some evidence and you fucking tossed me across the room. I'm trying to get that for you, and you are actively hindering me from doing so. You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. Ah, I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence and let me investigate the room. I have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime. The paper. Really, the paper? This is the paper seal I wrote for the wardrobe. I remember working really hard to make it. But I'll never forget how Kazuma reacted. Do you expect the Russian crew to be able to read that? He said. Still, I was sure people would get the idea even if they couldn't read it. So he used it anyway. And it worked. I don't know if the crew thought it was creepy or what, but no one opened the doors. Oh, that's right, that's not the present button.
Yes!
Take that! Yes! Tell me, can I turn over now? Are we just gonna have this entire conversation upside down? Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, yes it was. I remember clearly. I thought, wait, yeah, because that wouldn't make any sense. How would I go inside and then stick the piece of paper on myself? Kazuma had to do that for me. I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. Just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well. Ah, yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. Yes, that's quite true. In other words, It's impossible that I killed Kazuma. Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma thought so highly of you. Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? I'm still upside down. The rest of the game is just upside down. Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here at least. Thank you. So you finally believe me? I'm sorry, no. What? I'm not sure yet. But I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put that sign back in position. What does she think I am, a magician? For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's get to work, Susato-san. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I shall be watching you, to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy the evidence, for example. Conjuring trick? What do you mean? You think I'm a wizard? Think I'm a sorcerer? Right. Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death. Oh, wow, full UI for this. I guess I'll examine the room first. Oh, that dude's still here. I didn't think he was in here watching us. Oh, I have to, like, tilt the screen back and forth. There's a lot of stuff to look at in here. It's some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruhodo-san? I think living isn't quite the right description. Oh, no, I suppose not. Well, it must have been rather exciting making this voyage in your own secret hideout. Trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception. But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin. No, sadly not. Oh dear, that won't do. Oh, what's the matter, Susato-san? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused, I forget to look around properly. Yeah, that's not good. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san? She's just going to explain- yeah, I know. I just did this. I'm sure you're careful to look around all the time using BM. Wait, what? These are the most random possible... Who assigned these keys? Who thought, oh yes, looking left and right. Obviously, these are the B and M keys, which are not even directly next to each other on the keyboard. But you know what, whatever. I guess the prompts are on the screen, I guess. Yes, let's do that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. Increase the FOV. I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin. Yes, it would appear to, you're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough or something like that. I suppose? Maybe that's it? Oh, cool! They put a check mark over when you've already examined something. That is such a neat little addition, so you don't wind up examining the same thing over and over again. Really cool. I like that. This is where dear Kazuma-san would have... or Sama. Kazuma-san, Sama-san would have sat, whatever he was writing. London Diary. Poor Cosmo, he didn't even make it to his destination. It looks as though the last entry is incomplete. Which means... What? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. It could be a valuable clue. Hiya! I'm not even allowed to read? That's out of the question. What? Cosmo-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts. What if it's something important? Something relevant to the case? Alright, I won't read it. Poor Cosmo-sama. I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? Fine, I guess. We're just gonna ignore that. Odd that I can't examine this, but I suppose I can examine this. Did Cosmo write that before he died? It looks like it's written in ink. He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. Oops. I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Poor Cosmo-sama, no doubt he's in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it. I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of a clue in his final moments, was he? I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing. I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san. What language is it? It pains me to admit, but I don't know. It's not a language. It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? What? Huh? What? Huh? Who is that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, it looks like he... What? Yes, this man is hunched over upside down on top of a desk. Obviously a European, a refined Japanese man such as myself would never do. Such a disgusting thing. Oh, how did he... You've noticed the man too, have you? I have no idea who he is or how he got in here, but he looks suspicious. And tall. Suspiciously tall. Naruhodo-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is? Well, no, I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. He doesn't look like a member of the crew. Something very unusual about him. Are you talking about the fact that he's dressed like a fucking alchemist? And is he investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell. Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him. Am I just imagining it, or does Suzato-san look almost uncontrollably excited? By the way, I expected that you'd noticed already, but just in case. If you press space on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them. Alright then, I'll get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say. Oh, please do. Okay, I actually want to look around the room a bit more before I get talking with him. The books have fallen over on the shelf, look, they've all toppled the same way. What's this, a statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over now as well. Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once. I wonder if... Perhaps it was Kazuma-sama's doing his morning sword training, do you think? I seriously doubt it. Then perhaps... It was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage. I mean, my best guess is that the boat sort of tipped to the left and that everything fell over. But, you know. I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. Don't do that! You're disturbing evidence! That's evidence, and you're fixing it! Ugh. What is that? There's like a pink thing on the floor. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on his trip. I suppose that's just how important it was to him. And now he's gone. I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. Oh god, my voice cracked. What is this? That's my dinner from last night, a roast chicken. That looks like a human ligament. Like a human bone. It was really tasty. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But, did you eat it on the floor here? I'm not a dog, Susanoo-san. I ate at the table, of course. Which begs the question of, when and how did the plate end up on the floor? But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he? No, that's right, so he didn't touch it. He doesn't like chicken! What? Which meant all the more for me. Oh no. Does that mean... Poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on Earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible. Now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. There's a knife. There's a sword. Wasn't that the wall scroll that was at, like, the, Saigi? The Japanese word for justice. The brush strokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Okay, Kazuma may be truthful, but I don't think he's straight, buddy. Yes, his calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? I will stand by my headcanon. I like to think of my headcanon that Sherlock is actually named the Sherlock Holmes, but he's just like, I need an alias so my identity isn't revealed. That's a good theory. Yet can you really look at those characters without feeling shame knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can! Even though you stowed away on the ship? Wait, hold on. I lost that conversation a little bit. Of course I can. I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Okay. Now you're gonna bring that up, are you? I can't win. There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yes, it's strange. I mean, literally all this evidence, the toppled over books, the table being, like, sort of thrown to the left side, it really does just make me think, even the way the ink spilled and sort of went this way, that the boat just tipped left at some point, and everything sort of slid off and went left. Yes, it's strange. Last night, when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still. No, wait a minute. What is it? That's funny, I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma. No. Okay, let's go talk to this weirdo. Let's go talk to this standard European. Actually, hold on, I want to check this out. This is... Yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean, contraption? I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about the life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants. Really? That sounds almost magical. Shall we give it a little try? Yes! In the interest of cultural research, obviously. These two are goofballs. I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people. No, I'm sure that it's just that everyone's busy, that's all. Okay, what's your deal? Excuse me? Excuse me? Do you have a moment? Shh. This is a critical point in my investigation. Maybe I should just leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Oh god! He teleported! Wait, what did he say? I didn't see it. Greetings, I hope I haven't kept you long. Hey. What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? Ah, I see. Fascinating. Sorry? What do you see? Feels like he's looking right through me. Oh, yes. Everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. Okay. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry? What? And now, whilst venturing forward towards foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh, well, that's true, I guess. But how? How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It really was a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There's no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolutionary. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. And when the Barabond occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. What? No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Just to be clear, you're talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits the bill. So it's true. It was you who did this, Kazuma-sama. What? And you're plotting a revolution too. It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked. No, listen, there's no way I... Oh, fuck. Do I even sound and look Russian? Now explain yourself, tell me everything. This is ridiculous. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously. Oh, forgive me. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing towards foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, no shit, Sherlock. I mean... Oh my god. I hate this game. I hate it. I hate it. I don't even mean to make that... Okay, let's move on. Well, yes, maybe. Huh. There you have it, you see. What do you make of that, hmm? Well, to be honest... The ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So I'm not really sure you could call it a deduction. It's more plain observation. Shown it, Herlock. Indeed, an observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles. You see, I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right. Huh. I don't think you introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Sherlock Holmes, or Herlock Sholmes. It's gonna take a while for me to not say that wrong. So it's really you, the actual Herlock Sholmes. The very same. The inimitable, actual Sherlock Holmes. I've never heard of that word before, actually. Do you know this man, Susato-san? The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san, of course I do! There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. What planet have I been living on, then? He has a good theme, I kinda like this. Very flamenco. We must ask him what he's deduced. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Really? Why do I have an uneasy feeling about this? Hey man, can I ask you like a question? Great detective. So you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I'm none other than the one and the only, Herlock Sholmes. I see, you're German? Herlock, was it? No, I have no hair. I mean, I have hair. But please call me Sholmes. Oh, that's so much easier. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. You just carry around a thing on you with you? Oh yes, Rance Magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Ah, yes, there it is. The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. So you're the protagonist in a series of short stories, then? Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own stories, you started to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I am not the poor deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in a magazine. I have a biographer. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Dr. Wilson? I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment I am returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, is to me a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form. A science? Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. An furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin. All these things are data. Right. And the trained logician... Logician? Is that how you say that? I guess logician. Makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can he look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for deduction, and fame. That is what makes me the one and only Sherlock Holmes. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? I have managed to deduce anything, or have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow! Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him. When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all the crew members to force the cabin door open. So this game takes place in 1912 or 14 or something, right? If Sherlock's birth year is the same as it is in the books, it'd probably make him about 60 years old, therefore my headcanon is this crazy old senile man. Creating a lot of headcanons about this character here in the chat. Oh my god, Sherlock is the originator of Apollo's perceivability. Hey, that could actually be true. We don't know. It's kind of neat, because he is kind of talking about the same thing that Apollo Justice does have with his vibrating arm dildo, as I call it. As I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective, Sherlock Holmes, was on board. And the handcuffs seem to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh, really? Two facts, you say? Oh god, that is so much more. Mr. Holmes, tell us, please. What two facts were apparent to you when you came to this cabin this morning? Ah, yes, but first, let us be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand, but what were they? Allow me to elucidate. Okay. The two facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number one, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number two, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute. What? Wait, no. Was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Hold on, Mr. Holmes. What made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. Tap, sign, E-P-O, sign. That is the Russian word for wardrobe. Do you really think Kazuma could have left a dying message in Russian? In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian, was he? Initially, I considered Garderob may be the name of the killer, a certain Robert Gard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least. Where did you find where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly? He is skipping so many steps here. Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. Actually, one of the things I am kind of getting from this guy, the vibe, is I feel like he's not completely batshit, but it's just some of, like, he deduces things, but not all of it is correct. Like, he might have some useful info, but he embellishes it so much with random facts to make it sound, like, so grandiose that it's not really, you know, worth entirely listening to. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. Our school uniforms are traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea! And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message. and I might analyze it for possible hidden details. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yes, Cosmo had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Poor Cosmo. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, thank you. Photograph of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. Aw, poor guy. I find Sholmes to be the best and worst at the same time. Mental capabilities of hiding his identity has messed with his work. Oh no. Yeah, he's just a senile old man. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that. Oh yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? I'm gonna pronounce... I'm not even gonna try. Certainly, if it interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian and I don't speak Russian. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean? Ah, the now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and Assassin of 16 part. Ah, yes, the more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads... That dude looks horrifying. Revolutionary Vailin Bolshevik flees Russia in Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Cosmo a Russian? It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded that he was Russian because of what Cosmo-sama wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, Vailin Bolshevik. No, how could that even be me? I don't look like anything like this guy, just look at his face! Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Ha! Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. Please. And might I add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway, but I can't say that. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower. Ah, yes, the journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all these particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far and those he is plotting. Yes. Everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters? I wonder. And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik is recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place. Yeah, I guess it makes sense that a Japanese person wouldn't know that much of a place like Afghanistan at this time period. Here, take the paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great deduction. Thank you. I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back? Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Let's take a look at what Cosmo wrote here. I don't see any marks on him or anything. Whoa, who's this lady? What? You just said you need someone to interpret Russian after claiming you were Russian. Yeah. This is interesting. Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san? Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid. No, nor can I. But look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think? She's very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you? I don't know. Can't make any sense of it. I'm glad you've noticed this article. Ah! I'm investigating! How did you even get in this screen? I go where I want, I'm Herlock Sholmes. Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. He pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. She disappears from Shanghai at the same time this revolutionary leaves as well. Suspicious? During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? Oh yeah, thanks, Mr. Naruhodo-san. Yeah, so difficult. It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room. Wearing a diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea. I'm quite sure. Must be an unbelievable sum of money. Suzato-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. Oh no, she's a gold digger. It reminds me of someone else's theory about Sherlock in this game a few years ago. The tiara is property of the Novovich Ballet. Ballet. I don't know, I keep saying, like, ballet. It's the food as well. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry. Yes, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. Yeah, the most Russian thing you can do is leave Russia. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, we did find out something. I'm afraid I can't read a word of Russian. No, me neither. I have no idea what any of this says. I'm back again! The pair of you floundering is a sorry sight. Allow me to offer you some assistance. The article on the front page of this newspaper is concerned with a fearsome Russian revolutionary. It reads, Revolutionary Violin Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. Yeah, you told us that before. It also reveals that those who see the man's beard with their own eyes never live to tell the tale. My goodness, he is fearsome! Well, presumably the newspaper photographer was alright, wasn't he? The solution is obvious, of course. If he despises his beard to that degree, he need only shave it off. I'm not quite sure that's the problem, Mr. Sholmes. And what were you just investigating? What were you doing on that desk, like, upside down? I need to know. Before we started talking, you were examining Cosmo's desk, weren't you? Cosmo? Ah, yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London diary. Cosmo's keeping notes of the trip. Ah, but I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is. Oh, come on, you're fine? Susato-san, aren't you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? Sorry, Naruhodo-san, what on earth do you mean? What do you mean, what do I mean? Don't give me that face. Life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim, it would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? May be precise as to the details. Or pray be precise as to the details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Well, you're speaking it right now. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado, nado nado. I trust you're suitably impressed. Haha. But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters of which I can read precisely none. So what was all that showing off for? If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes. I'm much obliged. My dear madame. The final entry here in Kazuma's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound? These are very deep waters. Pray, go on. The second sentence reads, 11:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. Never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Kazuma's diary has been entered into the court record. Looks like we're all done investigating here for now. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least. Do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe, and if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose you're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to. Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate, hence the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No. That would be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. Oh, these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No. There's no point in trying to turn into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. What are you talking about? You must be joking. You just said it only a second ago. Dear me, you're clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure. Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know. No, not really. So what? Were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Sorry about that. Oh no, my hair. Never had that happen before. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Now he's just being plain rude. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing there for? Hmm? You must go and investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can... Hiya! Why? What is your reason this time? After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up. You're just gonna roll over and accept your fate? As if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. Everyone in this entire video game is like, you're not allowed to do this. And I go, okay, I won't do this. And then they punch me in the face. And they're like, Naruhodo, why aren't you doing this? I'm like, you just told me. Sholmes, gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. The situation doesn't look good for me. There are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Cosmo to do everything I can to find a way out of this. And bring the real culprit to justice. We still haven't talked to this guy yet. We haven't looked at this either. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS... Beria? Is this what it's called? It's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. What? Why are you staring at me? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? I can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure either way. I wasn't supposed to be in here. Excuse me? What? I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Would you mind if I investigated a little outside? Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes, but it's not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking prison guard to help him escape. Very funny. We're in the middle of the sea. There's no chance of me escaping. Yes. You stay in this cabin until next port. Then it is up to Hong Kong police to decide what they do with you. You stay. Alright. There's no point in trying to appeal to this man's better nature, that's for sure. When I went for help, the crewman forced the door open. This bolt had been firmly closed. It's quite a small bolt and not particularly sturdy. And it just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel, the culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. Yeah, I wouldn't think that'd be possible. There'd be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. What about this? I've investigated thoroughly, but I can't find anything out of place. Oh, are we really not going to investigate this whole thing? Okay. I don't know if there's anything left to look at. Oh, there we go. It's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case. Ah, yes. I see it says, "This way up" in Japanese. Which in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewman wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor here. Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, it was less painful than a Susato takedown. I was trying to investigate the inkwell, but it's not letting me. Nor can I investigate whatever this is on the floor. Chair, bed. We already got that, we already got that, we already got that, we already got that. Thanks to that so-called detective, I'm even more stuck inside this cabin than I was before. For the time being, I suppose I'll just have to focus my efforts on investigating in here. Okay, well, what am I missing? So there's a knife that I can't look at. I already talked to him. I investigated this. I investigated that. No, 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 no. No, no, no. That's weird. Well, I'm not allowed to present anything. Unless I have to, like, turn first, and then I can back down and present? No, I can't even converse either. Maybe I gotta look at some of the evidence I have? You can hear a faint whistling sound. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Wait, what if I did... There's where, like, the glue was. Oh, these must be remnant of the glue you used to stick the paper seal on the wardrobe. That's right, it was pulverized rice. Pulverized rice? Yes, I pulverized some of the rice for my evening meal, even though it broke my heart. Broke your heart? What do you mean? Remember, I'm a stowaway on the ship. All I had to eat were Kazuma's leftovers. Even a couple of grains of rice could have meant the difference between life and death. Oh my, it must have been awful for you, Naruhodo-san. But I have some glue with me as it happens. You're welcome to use it this evening. Oh, thank you very much. I love how she's like, oh yeah, you're welcome, even though we already know you're here and there's no reason for you to stay in this cabinet anymore. Maybe I'll check out the grill again. I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. I was hoping maybe we could find that speckled band. We already went through all this. What am I missing? I feel like I've clicked on everything already. Okay, no, I actually could. I just didn't see that. I'm a big dumb. What do you think this is? It looks like a broken piece of glassware. It looks like a bell. Like a bell that got shattered or something. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have been broken clean in two. The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Netsuke fastener from a kimono outfit. I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he? And the mark beside it. What is it, I wonder? It has a sort of brick-like hue. Yeah, you're right. It is the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. Oh, look over there. Wait, is that Hosonoga? Is that Hosonoga dressed up as a sailor? The crewman, do you mean? He wasn't there before, was he? That's what I thought. Why don't we try talking to him? Probably because I'm likely to get yelled at again. But I suppose I could try. Hosonoga, is that you? Or am I crazy? Is that... something wrong, Naruhodo-san? Oh no, it's just that crewman's standing by the door. Can't help feeling that I've seen him somewhere before. Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir. Yes. What can I do for you? I recognize that face, but it can't be. Oh god, too many thumbtacks for breakfast. It is! I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonoga. Hello again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped. Nearly stopped, I hope. I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew and board this ship. Again? You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector. If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board, but perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. No, ignore him. Look at the background. So what are your special orders this time, Inspector? Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew? Top secret, I'm guessing? I'm sorry. Hmm? This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. It was the Minister of Justice, Jigoku, who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? How could that even have been a possibility? Oh, why would they go after him? I'm the one who was the lawyer in that last case. I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said that we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible. I don't believe it! Kazuma-sama was assassinated? Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I see. And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been aboard, from morning until night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin. Not here on the first-class deck. I failed miserably at my assignments, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector. So if there's anything at all I can do to help now, just say the word. He is so, like, dedicated to his job all the time. We're doing what we can to investigate Cosmo's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer? Of course not! We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door. Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin. I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you moved even to touch the handle of the cabin door, the stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two. I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive. What do you mean? If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to. But I don't see how... There may be a way. What? Really? Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-san, by presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession. Evidence? It's just the same when you were in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Simply select the present panel. Then choose some evidence that Inspector Hosonoga could use. So, evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin, is it? Alright, yes. I think I might know what we can use. Let's see if I can present the detective with the evidence he needs to persuade the captain. Actually, I think I know what that is. Probably the same thing, honestly. Oh, this is the paper seal that was stuck over the wardrobe doors this morning, isn't it? That's right, to try and stop the cabin steward opening it up and discovering me. Wouldn't it have been better to write in English if you didn't know Russian? Maybe, but Ofuda paper amulets like this are a part of our culture, Inspector. I thought if I made it look creepy enough, people would be too scared to want to look inside. It isn't easy being a stowaway, is it? It's kind of neat that he's able to react to that. What's that? It's Kazuma's diary. Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote, "What looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill." A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that, but what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins the next door cabin. That's right. So if we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. I'm kind of curious about that myself. It's like the title of the case, and I'm like, what even is that? Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Are you going against his direct orders? Oh, God. I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do. Thank you. Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just select move and we can leave the cabin at last. Move. Right, let's go. Hosonoga's always there for us. 9th January, 7:48 a.m. SS Beria First Class Cabin Passageway. Is that a mousetrap? That's a mousetrap. Whew, I'm finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be, and this is the most luxurious accommodation. Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent on this study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cavern. Cavern? Cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as any accommodation in the steerage. Really? Must be awful. Oh, that dude looks pretty scary. Oh, look over there! There's another crewman keeping watch. He looks enormous, even when he's sitting down. The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. Suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't. Posture check and hydrate. Very postured, very hydrated. I suppose. Like people in handcuffs? Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. You've been at sea for 2 weeks already. Well, yes, I know, but the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when we first came aboard. Ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe. Must have been a very trying time for you. Please, don't give me that pitying look. This looks like a plan of the SS Beria. It shows each deck, look. The Beria is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hull. I have no idea what that means. I'm guessing that means it has like 3 layers of armor. What a marvel of engineering. Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but... how is it that such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean? Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruhodo-san. It is? Well... consider the Japanese archipelago. The islands of Japan. Yes, they're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth, many, many times larger than this ship. And they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them. Well, I suppose so. It's not really an explanation. The thumbtacks seem to have a more salty flavor here on the sea. What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, is it not? What? A pleasing shape? That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it. Oh, an alarm. It says press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship and brings the vessel to a complete stop. Oh, this I have to see. What are you doing? Don't touch. Wait, did he actually... oh, this I have to see. He was about to go and touch it just to see it happen. Wow. What are you doing? Stop that. You can't touch that. But this is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs. You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation. I wish everything would just stop. The ship included. You have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else. Ah, a trap for catching mice. Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. Let me see. Yes, I think that is what's called cheese. It's made from the milk of cows. Cheese? I wonder what it tastes like. You can't eat it, Naruhodo-san. The trap will snap shut on your fingers. Really? But... I suppose you're right. You weren't actually going to try it, were you? All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Poor you. I'll find a little snack for you later. I'm glad she's changed from being like, this is completely your fault to like, you know, let's investigate this together, I believe you. First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin. Not our cabin, it's Kazuma's. Sorry. Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? Small as the wardrobe I've been calling home. These cabins are the finest on the ship. My own cabin is in steerage number 539. 500 and... How many cabins are there? How much info does the little book of hers have? I don't know. Can we just go into the other cabin now? No, I have to examine it first. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours, the one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. How did he teleport here? You're all the way over there! And why does your face have stripes across it? Excuse me, we need to get inside this cabin here? The sailor's eyes speak volumes. They're clearly saying, keep out. That's what I wrote on the sign that we put over the wardrobe. Well, this man's version is definitely more effective. It doesn't look like he's going to let us pass. That's a problem. Well, what about this book? That's a huge book on top of the table there. There's a pen next to it. Yes, that looks like the ship's log. Shall we have a little look through it? He's not stopping us. The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded. You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. He's so silent. And nothing. No reaction at all. Thought he might appreciate the compliment. I'm not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruhodo-san, even as a sailor. Anyway, last night's log is mostly blank. Presumably that means there was nothing to report. This dude want to talk to us at all? Excuse me, but could I ask you something? You? You little stowaway murderer? Oh, okay. Calm down, dude. That wasn't a good start, was it? Alright, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask something of you? You? You little third-class lady's maid? Damn! He's savage to everyone! Oh. You seem to have caught this sailor in a bad day, Susato-san. I am not sailor. My mother gave me name. Oh boy. I am Senior Crewman Beef Stroganoff. Oh my god. Your mother... I don't know. I don't think your mother likes you very much, Mr. Stroganoff. With a name like that, it sounds like she was very hungry when she gave birth to you. Best thing is just to avoid eye contact, I think. Mr. Stroganoff? About this first-class cabin area. Here we are in the finest part of British steamship. For very important persons. What sort of very important persons? Government officials, kings, queens, traveling in secret. Many important persons. That is why I am guarding this place. Gosh, that's amazing. But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean, but Stroganov is not animal. Thank you. If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Asogi currently occupied? Duh! Susato-san, did you understand that? It sounded like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes, or no. Genius. It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation. Well, it sounds like there is somebody in the next door cabin at least. Yes, it's tantalizing. Who is this person, though? Could you tell us about who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's? His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott. He's a very important Western gentleman. A Western gentleman? Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with murder of student boy. How can you be so sure about that? Mr. Roylott is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would have no interest in lowly student from insignificant Far East Islands. That was harsh. Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard? That is not your business. Come to think of it. Even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, and I've been in Kazuma's cabin the entire time, I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there's anyone there. Well, presumably, since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important. Is that right? That is not your business. And last night? Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff? Da, all time, so criminals like you cannot come in, or get out. I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all? It is said about Student Boy. Were you on watch last night as well? Of course. And did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual at all? Hit! Susato-san, did you understand that? It was clearly a no. I saw nothing unusual, nothing at all. And you didn't hear any strange noises or sense anything was wrong in some way? Look at that face. That is not the face of someone who didn't see anything. This is the face of a liar. I said no! I mean, you didn't say no, you said whatever. Sorry! I'm not so sure. Could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there. This is enough. I cannot say more now. Oh. It's time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin. Yes, alright. Bulkhead to second class area is staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain, or as the English say, when the pigs fly. Yes, I understand. Good. Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we? Definitely. Surprised you let us look at the freaking logbook. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Well, wasn't Sholmes going over there? No answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries. How annoying. Ah! What was that? It came from inside the cabin. Such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman. Stand aside. I'm about to break the door down. Where did you come from? Mr. Sholmes! I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges. Please wait, Mr. Sholmes. That's a full metal door. There's no way you're gonna be able to kick that. The door doesn't appear to be bolted. It doesn't? Then how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What prey can I kick? Okay. I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief. Oh no, please don't be another murder. Are we about to have murder number 2? All at what? Oh, it's the guy. It's the guy from the article. Who are you? A Western gentleman. This man looks Russian to me. We heard a woman scream. A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin. True, this old man does appear to be the only person in here. In that case, who just screamed? Oh, is that what's going on here? Is the old man... Okay, this might just be like an Ace Attorney tier deduction right here. But we might figure this out later. Obviously, don't spoil it for me if I'm right. But seeing as how these two people both disappeared at the same time, and this person's facial structure looks nothing like this guy, I'm gonna guess that maybe this lady is currently dressed up as him as she's going across the ocean for some reason, because the facial features don't match up whatsoever. The nose is in the same shape, and neither is the rest of the face. However, it looks very fake, and if there is a womanly scream, there's a good chance it's her dressed up as this dude, this revolutionary guy. Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimesby Rylot, I believe. Yes, that's me, and you are? I'm the one and only, the actual Herlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt? No. I'm a great detective among great detectives. One who adorns the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you may trust me completely. The man uses that magazine like a business card. Detective. I do not trust detectives. Why are you holding scissors? Can you put those down? You're making me kind of uncomfortable, man. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time. So might I be so bold to ask you to open that small traveling case? What? Don't be stupid. How could anyone fit in a small trunk like that? Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk. Don't look at me. Oh, it is moving. Oh my, did you see that, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, the case just shook. Leave, now, otherwise, I'll call the steward. So this is Cosima's neighbor. Mr. Grimesby Roylott. Looking around his room, and I don't see the yellow band they're talking about. Unless it's the yellow band from the bottom of this little bell thing over here on the right side, which could definitely be a case. Maybe they could, like, take this off and then use it to, like, open and close the vents? I don't know. There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man is hiding something. I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns. What are you doing in there? Why are you... What? Whatever. Whatever. What do you think you're doing? This is my cabin. Get out. Can we just have a quick look inside your traveling case, perhaps? No! Huh. What a pity. I think we're out of luck. I think you're right. It doesn't appear to be anything more we can do. I agree, but there may be someone else who can help. Perhaps that great detective could be somewhere with Mr. Roylott, or get somewhere with him. Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes? You need only address me as Sholmes. That's what I just did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there? Why, I was resting, of course. Resting? Indeed, I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting. waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of detection into your service. Oh! And it would seem that the hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken? Well, no, actually, you're spot on for once. Observe closely. Our Russian host in this cabin, Mr. Roylott, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what is the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding in secret? A gun? Why, the truth, of course. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right. Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it? Oh yes, please! Well then, what you're about to see may well astound you. For I'm about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Could this man be a more hackneyed portrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? What? From time to time, it occurs to me... Is the fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian on account of his dubiousness? I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you, or anyone. That's right, and Mr. Sholmes. I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but once I once read, it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment. Shh! I must have complete silence. What are you doing? Why are you peering at my face like that? Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I have quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylott, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions. What do you mean? Number one, that your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you're about to end the existence of something most dear. He's probably about to cut their beard, maybe? I don't know. Are you not? Huh? And number two, the other conclusion I have drawn. You are, at this very moment no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath the beard, your mouth quivers with a nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. They turn purple, that's for sure. Does it not? Ugh. Oh, Naruhodo-san, I never imagined you would witness one of Mr. Holmes' great deductions with my own eyes. Or I would witness it. That was a great deduction? Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person. What? What an effable twaddle. Oh, yes, I've read about it countless times on the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. And now I've experienced with the astonishing impact of his great deduction firsthand. This is like a dream come true. It's like the first time I've ever seen her smile. I can hardly believe it, but all the color is drained from Mr. Roylott's face. It looks like somehow both of Mr. Sholmes' deductions were right. How? How could you... How could I possibly know such things? You wish to say? Very well then. I shall elucidate, educate, eradicate, assassinate. I shall explain how it was that I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So do I cordially invite you upon a journey of logical discovery. Let us board the train of reasoning. Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together. What? The great deduction in the game is afoot? Old man's identity. Oh, I really like the camera movement here. So the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roylott, obviously what catches an eye in the first place is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The best feature, let's go. The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You were on the verge of using those shears to cut away the copious beard you sport. Now moving on. Damn, he's just moving all over the screen. The question then begged is this. Why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylott? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper. In particular, the fascinating front page article. Which it would appear you have read also, Mr. Roylott. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. In translation, the headline reads, Revolutionary violin Bolshevik flees Russia and Shanghai. As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair before you gave it away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. Damn, that is so cool. That is so much fun. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, Violin Bolshevik. Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand. Revolutionary on the run is the conclusion. Wrongdoing. Now, as for my second conclusion. You are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. Okay, so no, I think my original thing was too far off. I think there's a chance that he could be smuggling that lady across, and that this actually is him, but just the art style difference between the newspaper and the game's, like, 3D model made me think it was someone else. I think that could be it as well. But who knows? It could be either one of these things. It's just... if this is him, it looks very different from the piece of art we were shown in the newspaper article, which is what made me kind of doubt it for a bit. And the proof of this crime over there... Oh yes, Mr. Roylott. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes astray, you see. And I assure you, the eye speaks so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. It is time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare. No, I refuse. What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation, a young lady, perhaps, one slight enough to fit therein. Don't be absurd. And what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady in the traveling case? Dear me. We are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil. Coup d'oeil? Never heard of that. Betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your traveling case can be equally found in the pages of this newspaper. But there is another, most stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page... Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. Oh, see you later, Hoyle. Thanks for stopping by. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. Kidnapping of a young ballerina. Interesting. That was fun to watch. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma, Elemensky. Suzato-san, that wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it? Well, the stories are full of Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, you know? But that did seem a little different somehow. Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes, can you come over here for a moment? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about your deductions, would you mind? Not at all, go on. Well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but... these two men look nothing like each other. Ah, yes. I recall our discussion earlier, and at the time I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary. Will be able to revolutionize his own appearance. In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Roylott does look a lot more like this man than you do. That's not the point. And another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina. Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just a glance, it is too small, clearly. But if they're a ballerina, I guess that'd mean that they'd be pretty flexible, wouldn't it? You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old into that case, even if you push really hard. I don't suppose the missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she? You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15. No, I didn't know. How could I? Well, if she's 15, then 10 years worth of her would be poking out from that case. Some years ago, I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain lithness in their bodies? What? Vinegar? For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to contort oneself into the confines of that small case. Oh dear. You might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Sholmes. No, this whole thing's turning into a circus. Mr. Naruhodo, something's occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' deductions just now. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of the matter almost instantly. But just where he directs all his attention and his logic that seem a little off. Your idea of a little may be a little off itself, Miss Suzato. It's just one or two keywords in his deductions that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think? Switch some keywords in his deductions. Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Sholmes' great deduction. Precisely the thought that was going through my own mind. This man is a lot of work. At times, I wonder how anyone puts up with me. Oh, I have no friends. It's not that funny. And you, my good fellow. Sorry. Take a moment to look at your wrists. My wrists? What? Ah! Where are your handcuffs? Prisoner on the loose! How did... I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction. I don't believe it. Mr. Sholmes, you are a marvel. And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished. I'm not worried, in fact, I'd rather stay like this. So, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh yeah! Now it's our turn to correct all this. So the dubious rush... looking Russian Mr. Roylott. Okay, so there's no pressing here. There's just, you can open the court record. There's this enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You're on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport. I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut off a beard? I doubt that's something I'll ever have to worry about. It doesn't quite sit right with me, though. It doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Roylott either. Which means, I suppose, that the deduction is wrong. Let's try to switch a key word here, Naruhodo-san, and see if it helps matters. Alright, but how? I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Roylott. I wonder if it's really his beard that he intended to use the shears on. Exactly. If we do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Sholm's deductions better, then what? Then I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruhodo-san. Why am I the one to do something about this? Well, anyway, let's see if there's anything we could do even to use... We could even use to switch around in that last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Roylott really going to use those enormous shears for? Thick hat. Oh, I can't, like, zoom out or anything. I just have to look at this. Oh my god, I see it now. I was right. It is her dressed up like him. My theory was correct. What's this? It looks like a cascade of stunning gold locks. No, the color is not the point. The point is, what's it doing on the back of Mr. Roylott's head? And how is it growing out from underneath his thick black hair? Well, yes, that's true. So it's stunningly beautiful and stunningly surprising. Something's definitely not right here. Present.
Yes!
Oh, no! Yeah! I didn't expect that! If I'm entirely honest, I did not expect Ryunosuke to start spinning around the screen like him. That was sick. Okay, game, you have my attention. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks you sport. Indeed. You have identified the precise detail I was intending to expose. Such lush golden hair certainly does not benefit an old man. Or befit, not benefit. You're not a man at all. You're a woman. And judging from the length and the sheen of your hair, one's still very much in her youth. Oh no. If only I'd managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected. The question then begged this is, why would you desire to rid yourself of these magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain, and with very clear evidence to shed light on the matter. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. That's not true. Well, that was a shock. I had no idea that old man was a really young woman in disguise, did you? What? Why are you staring at me like that? Yes, it was a surprise, Naruhodo-san. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Sorry? You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room deducing facts with Mr. Sholmes. I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything, Baka. It's strictly business. Yes, I understand. Say no more. Well, anyway, let's focus on the next part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction, shall we? The evidence that he's picked out doesn't fit the facts at all until now. No, that's true, given that Mr. Roylott is actually a woman. Exactly. He, or rather she, can't possibly be this merciless revolutionary. I suppose it's because our deduction as a whole has taken a different direction now. Yes. Let's switch the evidence for something else. Something that fits the facts as we now understand them. For some reason, the woman needed to try and hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. Alright, I'll do my best. Is there a... No, there's... Okay, it's just a separate article.
Yes!
Hey, my theory was right. That always feels good. The evidence that reveals your true identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina. That's right, you've hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear we were finally able to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of the Novovich Ballet's prima ballerina. It's a mouthful. Miss Nikolina Pavlova. Are you dead? Damn, is that Milia Rage? Milia, that, oh my god, that is actually Milia. Milia, what are you doing on this boat? It's my Guilty Gear main. You're right. My real name is Nina. I mean, Nikolina Pavlova. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone. Solved. We're not done? Damn. Now, as for my second conclusion. You are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime, over there. Oh yes, Miss Pavlova. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. And I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. This woman is the ballerina, and she's right in front of our eyes. So clearly she can't be inside the traveling case as well. No, that's right, it seems she wasn't abducted at all. In which case, what is the crime this young woman is apparently committing? Huh. I can see I'm going to have to step in and fix the great detective's mistake again. You seem to look pleased, Naruhodo-san. You like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Shelms? Stop it. Anyway, there must be something else here that shows what this woman is up to. I think I need to add a space between the Twitter link and the word. Oh, you're right, I see that. I never actually noticed that. Thank you for telling me that. It's something I've never seen. I guess I kind of just ignore the big blob of text. Getting you back to streaming Guilty Gear. What did she glance at that's the evidence of her crime? Is it the tiara? Let's see what else is here just to make sure before I go clicking at it, because the traveling case moving is one thing, but that could just be like her pet cat or whatever. It's the tiara. Wow, look at this dazzling tiara. Never seen anything like it. Are those real diamonds, you think? Oh, Naruhodo-san, try it on. What? Me? Isn't it usually girls who wear tiaras? Wouldn't you like to try it on? Oh no, I couldn't possibly. It's far too beautiful. Why does this tiara look familiar? I feel like I've seen it somewhere recently.
Yes!
The proof of your crime is surely this tiara. Huh? I believe that this tiara is worn on stage by dancers in the Novovich Ballet, is it not? Indeed. It would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in this newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, it's an item worth 20,000 rubles. In summary, the crime you have committed is theft. Oh no. Yes, you left your ballet troupe, unlawfully taking their precious tiara with you. Ah! Oh no, she took damage. Now that's a lot of damage. I have no one, no family, no friends. I am all alone. And I need money. But I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, how do you say, an Earl of Prussia? It belongs to me. This girl is only 15 years old, and she's run away all by herself. She must have been extremely lonely. Alright, I will tell everything. There is no point in hiding it now. Come home. Alright, no, they said, come home. I'm gonna take you home right now. Throw you off the boat. Come, let us not be hasty. What? There remains one unsolved mystery about you. A mystery? What do you mean? You have staunchly refused to open that traveling case of yours in our presence. Is it unreasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you would wish it remain closed? Is that not so, Miss Pavlov? My dear girl, there is no sense in oh wait, no, that's him. It showed her, but that's him talking. My dear girl, there's no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your case, even before I have ever laid eyes on them. Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil betrays you. Once again, we only need to follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the books on the shelf. He's completely changed tack with his deduction now. I think Mr. Sholmes is adapting his logic to the changing circumstances, don't you? Maybe, but why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all this? It's just a wild guess, surely. Oh, do you think so? Well, it doesn't seem likely that the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her. Yes, that's true, but still. Miss Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction, I noticed it myself. And there has to be another reason why she won't open her case. It must be somewhere in the same area. If it's where her gaze was involuntarily drawn. I agree, that's the only answer. Whatever she has hidden inside that case should be revealed by following her gaze in the direction of the bookcase. Is it the... Oh, the rules of passage. Oh, I get it, because it says no pets or weapons, and she has both.
Yes!
Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from the carriage on this vessel. It's a sentient gun! Yes, you have a sentient pet gun in there. Very common for the Russian people. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents. As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time. Pet AK-47. A pet chicken. but no weapon or other dangerous item would move of its own accord. Which leaves but one possibility, Miss Pavlova. Inside your traveling case. Is the last item listed as forbidden in the vessel's rules of passage a pet? I read that very badly, but yeah, I was kind of like dazzled by their little performance. Oh, she took so much damage. Okay, Zen, you were correct. This mechanic is pretty fun. This is pretty cool. I don't think I'll get tired of this anytime soon. Especially with all the styling they put all over it. Elementary! Deduction complete. That was really neat. It was like a good way to keep like the investigation from going stale, because that, if I'm entirely honest, that is always a problem that I feel Ace Attorney has had. Ace Attorney has to have the investigation stage because it needs a way to introduce you to all the characters around you, and it needs you to find all the evidence, which can get a little like admittedly dull when it's not really working your mind in an interesting way. And before, in the older games, they just wanted you to, like, walk up to everyone and just present until you presented the right thing to the right person standing in the right room. And it was admittedly a little frustrating at times, so I do find this mechanic to be a lot of fun. Whoever came up with this, like, damn, good idea. I really enjoyed that. No, I am not Grimsby Roylott. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct. You absconded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later in that same night, you stole aboard this vessel. Which couldn't have been easy. Iberia's huge steamship with a vast crew. Could she really have snuck on board without being noticed? I mean, you did, Ryunosuke. In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman. And you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. So if it was just you about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out that scream we heard outside of the cabin? That veritable tinkling of a bell? Why, none other than this young lady, naturally. More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me. I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disgust myself? So no one would recognize me. As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man. I see. I put on a fur hat and fake beard. Then just before you came here, I saw in the newspaper, right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened, I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearances completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut all my hair as fastly as possible. I picked up the scissors in my hand and... At that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door. Annoyingly unlocked. He really wanted to kick that door down. Things happen like that sometimes, don't they? Things do indeed happen like that, from time to time. Are those two even talking about the same thing? There's just one more thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case? You were right. It is my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world. Please, don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out, if you say to any of the crew... Your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return, you must tell us in as much detail as you can muster about the events of last night. Yes, all right. I will tell you. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? Wasn't it something Mr. Shulm's... Wait, wasn't it something Mr. Shulm's great deduction? It was certainly something, yes. It's not like I had to fix the entire thing myself. I'm just not entirely sure what. At least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible. Indeed, it is incredible! Oh, and one more thing. Oh, yes? What? Observe your wrists. My... Ah! Your hands are cuffed again. What? But how? True to my word, I have restored your shackles. When and why? I mean, to be fair, Ryunosuke, if he didn't, it would look suspicious if you walked out of the adjoining room when you were both told not to leave, not to take the cuffs off, not to disturb anyone, and you've done, like, literally everything. So it's probably better off this way. There's still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry to say, it can't be helped at the moment. Can it? Really? Man, that whole cool sequence almost made me forget that Kazuma was dead. Now I'm reminded and now I'm sad again. Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what that speckled band that Kazuma wrote about in his diary really was. What happened last night? Did you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night? One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast. The man who died. He was a friend of mine. Oh! That's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night? Perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example? Perhaps people talking? Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest. Perhaps its steam engine exploded. Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed if that was the case. Miss Pavlova, is there anything you can tell us? I don't know. I'm sorry, but all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me. Oh, I see. You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? The Novovich Ballet. Yes. I am traveling to Great Britain. That was hard to say. Hard to say with like a tongue roll there. And from there, I want to go to America. I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet, and I will start a new life. You wish to forget? A challenging proposition, when you have that striking tiara as a reminder. But the tiara is mine. I need it to live. I have no money of my own. The Novovich Ballet gives us only little food and water, and we must dance all over the world. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me. So you ran away to protect yourself? Yes, and the crew of this ship. They have all been so kind to me. They let me come on board and said I could hide in this cabin. If that is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova, it creates a most intriguing conundrum. Yes, it does. What do you think about it, Mr. Naruhodo? Me? Oh, well... Yes, of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation. To what conundrum, I'm not sure, but... Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet. Now, that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. However, the SS Buria stopped by no port last night. Oh, you're right, we've been at sea for 2 weeks. Oh, that's it, of course! So how is it, pray, that you come to be aboard? Now that I think about it, the crewman outside of the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that. It was just after we asked him about what when the occupant of this cabin came aboard. It is not your business. Oh, I remember this, yeah. We asked him and he wouldn't say anything. Yes, you're right. He did seem to be hiding something. An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage. Sorry, what was that? It is how the Russian newspapers described one of my performances. And that is how I came here too. I descended from the heavens because I am an angel. What? Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid. Mr. Sholmes once said, I can never resist the touch of the dramatic. Seems Miss Pavlova is the same. A genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection. Words once said about myself. A quote from a wonderfully extravagant advertisement for the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, in fact. Yes, yes, Mr. Shoei. Anyway, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. What about your friend? So the friend you mentioned is inside your traveling case, is that right? I don't think animals are allowed on board according to the rules of passage. Oh please, don't tell. Don't tell any of the crew. Have they found out my precious? Then burly Russians would bestir themselves in unison to throw you and your case overboard, no doubt. Ah! So reassuring, Mr. Holmes. What sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy, it is, isn't it? No. Maybe an adorable little rabbit? Huh. You credit Russia as a land with small rabbits, do you? Is it a bear? I swear to God, if it's just like a tiny bear. Oh, don't they have small rabbits there then? You may well ask. I have no idea. Huh. You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to understanding the nature of young ballerina's friends. Isn't it obvious? It must be a chicken! Oh my god. Well, you're right. You're right, Kithrin. I don't know if you've played this game, but you... According to him, you're right. Really? Consider the benefits. A rousing wake-up call, daily fresh eggs. And when adversity strikes, it could satisfy the needs of sustenance. So you eat your friends. I'll remember that. Oh, it's not a chicken. Damn it, I thought he was actually right. It would appear this friend's identity is a closely guarded secret not to be revealed. She obviously doesn't quite trust us yet. There's something I should like to show her, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it. Yeah, there is a thing I wanted to show her before we even started talking. I wanted to ask about Kazuma's band. Oops. There to hit present. This is the diary of my friend who passed away. His diary? Yes, and he wrote in it last night before he died. Something a little unusual. It reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. And then a few minutes later, 1:35 a.m. It looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? I don't understand. It's strange, isn't it? But the ventilator he mentions joins to this cabin, you see. It's up there on the wall. In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabin are connected together. Oh. She says oh a lot. Miss Pavlova? Has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean anything to you, or the whistling sound, perhaps? No. I don't know anything. Oh. Uh-oh. Excuse me, Mr. Roylott? Yes, what? Wow. Got that back on fast. Wow, she's fast. Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to the captain's quarters at once. Please. Alright. I will come now. What? You must leave. Now. Oh no, it's fine. Don't mind us. Yes, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Roylott. Get out! The passenger said out! Or do you want me to throw you out? Looks like we'll have to leave investigating this cabin until later. What a pity. And so we lost our chance. Having still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin, we were unceremoniously chased out. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside. Well, that was our first little bit of investigation ever. It actually took a lot longer than I thought it would. Like most, I mean, the court cases are obviously going to be like slower since there's like less, you know, things to do speckled around everywhere. Speckled, haha, get it? But like, I suppose I just didn't expect it to go on for 3 hours because the stream is about 3 hours long. But we are going to be ending today's episode of this here. I'm going to try to get the last part of the last case up going on before, or on YouTube, and this one before I continue streaming. And I will definitely not be streaming this tomorrow as I have a thing that will require my voice earlier that day, so I'm definitely not going to like double strain it by doing that into this, but we will be streaming something else. Maybe I'll go back to streaming some of the Zeech campaign I was doing in Total War, or maybe something else. We'll find out. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you had a fun time with the stream. I really enjoyed the Sholmes mechanic that popped up and being able to debate with him and kind of, not only debate, but like fix his deductions and go back and forth till we figured out a truth. It's a really interesting thing to add to the investigative phase. Just kind of like what they did with Edgeworth to make sure it's not just talking and examining and more talking with not really anything for you to sink your brain into. Yeah. I will catch you all later. I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon /night/evening/day. See you later. Red and out.